Okay, no one says anything because no one wants to say the first thing when you're live, because usually that's like out of context and embarrassing.
Yes. Or it's something that's taken
Embarrassment is
horribly
a way of
uncomfortable.
life for us.
Well,
I mean, we are all tabletop role players.
Fair point.
And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of Mountain Campaign. Almost two Saturdays in a row this time. Almost.
What do you mean? We've been playing every Saturday since we started.
I know it's crazy how unerring
and consistent we are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There
It's
is
ridiculous.
Okay, there is a parallel universe where we consistently play Mountain Campaign every Saturday, and the only other difference in that universe is that pizza doesn't exist. Do you go there or not?
You know, I can always invent pizza.
Yeah.
You could be a literal god for bringing the gift of pizza.
You could
worship you as a god.
You may consistently play D&D session and become god among men.
Exactly. The two greatest strengths.
Welcome to Pizza Discussions.
Welcome to
our new podcast.
Welcome to Mountain Campaign. We're very on topic all of the time. We take this thing seriously.
Yes, and we always remember what we were doing in the previous session because we play so regularly.
Speaking of drops, what were we doing in the previous session?
Why, thank you for this perfect segue. In the last session, we were trying to find Brumbo Tungus, the bubbly, chubby little leader of the local Green Hand chapter, who had gone missing, and a very worried, I forgot the name of my own NPC.
You can tell how worried he is by the background music.
I know. The NPC's name is Tom.
It sounds dire.
3Ds.
Also, do you mean Chavos who wanted his bear back? And I will not clarify what I meant by bareback.
No, I meant Sandy. Sandy was trying to locate her.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense.
Finally paying attention.
I think they do it there.
And so your first stop on your search for Brumbo was the smuggling den you visited before.
God, what was that again? Oh yeah, she was looking for the thingamajiggers.
She was looking for the emergency kits.
Yeah.
Part of which you guys have been finding all over town.
Have we been giving them back, by the way, or just keeping them to ourselves?
You've been giving them to Brumbo.
Oh, okay.
For stamina.
Yeah, she pays you in stamina.
She gives us a stamina pin.
She gives us the human heart that we then consume to gain its strength. Or if you guys are getting paid
that was the old school method. These days it's just cocaine.
No, Amber.
Yes, now they give you artificial hearts.
I was about to say, Amber, you're the only person that does that.
Wait, but you guys aren't using the new method?
No, I'm just saying, we all get like stamina pins and whatnot, and Amber just eats a human heart that she just has in her pocket, and it's like,
yeah, so let's just
you guys enter the smuggler's hovel, which is as bustly and as loud as you remember. From the back room, you can still hear the unmistakable noise of gambling. even though the front still tries their best to affect an air of legitimate business.
Gambling noises protrude from the like,
Yes, there's a neon sign in the back that says illegal gambling inside, but you can see it from the window outside.
there's like a glowing lamp above the door to the back room that is like occupied gambling in process.
Illegal gambling in process, but illegal is just scratched out.
Oh, there are no medkits on the floor, so let's go.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hello, my colleagues and I are looking for a place to conduct extremely legitimate business.
Oh, then you got into
Wait.
the wrong place.
Yeah, then you come to the wrong place. We can do illegal
Give me-
business here.
Give me a roll for a legitimate business wink. Oh, it is almost the most legitimate business of winks.
Is that a false positive because we're lying about a potential truth? Is
You
this
think-
negated stuff?
Listen,
No,
listen, don't try to unravel these philosophical implications.
Here's the thing, Lowell did just say wink out loud.
He didn't even wink. He just left both eyes open.
he does not break eye contact even remotely or wink. Just
His
intense.
eyes are in so much constant pain from his inability to blink.
It is intense staring all the way down.
Ah, I see. You want to you want to
Yes,
commit some
legitimate business.
legitimate wink business wink in our legitimate wink business wink establishment wink.
I don't understand your accent.
How is this not an you don't wink on the establishment? Is this not real?
she turns to you and and her face completely changes from cheery to like disaffected, and she's like, listen,
They live.
I don't even know what's real anymore. She opens the flap for you guys.
It's the life you live when you conduct legitimate business.
Amber doesn't walk over the flap. She climbs over the counter. More or less stumbles her way over the counter. As per usual, she is quite intoxicated.
Hello, red ladies. Pleasure doing this.
They look you over.
Well, that's racist. God.
They
Listen.
look you over and they speak into the walkie-talkies. Boss, there's a very big green dude here.
Oh yeah, very big green dudes. Not a whole lot of those in the mountain nation.
There's this tall green guy here. I think he's the Jolly Green Giant.
Yes, there's a tall green guy here in this country filled with tall green guys.
You are tall even for a mountain nation. For a mountain person.
But whatever.
And out of their walkie-talkies comes the question: does he have a mohawk? Yeah.
It's a faux hawk. Get your fashion sense.
It actually isn't, you fucking liar. I will not be besmirched.
My brand will not be besmirched.
Amber's like, technically it's a faux hawk, and Lois just holds her back with one arm like, no. It's a mohawk and they have a right to know.
Stop.
The boss sighs heavily. Let them in.
He knows he can't keep us out.
Lo, as you enter, your muscle senses tingle, and your eyes get inevitably drawn to these two gentlemen.
Oh, new icons. Ooh, baby. Look at those.
And the icons are inadequate, not because they are bad art, but because the two-dimensional constraints are inadequate to transport just how buff these dudes are.
Use 3D models.
Usually.
Like, not only are they incredibly buff, they are also incredibly alike.
I imagine there's a fucking Street Fighter character who's just this gigantic buff dude in a suit, and the suit is just, it's like airtight, sealed to his skin.
Pretty
Latex,
much, yeah.
a latex business suit.
Latex
is
would-
Yuri from Street Fighter 5.
Latex
sure.
would not fit them as tightly as their suits do.
Yeah, you can see every vein.
Like, you
Wait.
imagine to get into their suits, they need talcum powder.
Yeah, like, what's the grease?
You dare say they are at least as muscly as you, if not more.
Holy shit.
Heresy.
I shall dispose of these heretics.
But
Why
the
you
owner
talking like that?
the owner waves to you, Lo, and waves you over. Hugo, you seem interested in this woman there.
Yes, that's true.
She is standing in front of an easel and painting what looks like a portrait. Or at least you think it's a portrait. Like, hold on, you look at it and it's just like abstract art, like weird lines and shapes and colors that just seem jumbled haphazardly together. But Hugo, you think you can see a face in there?
Not only that, I can see the true essence of the face.
So what do you do, Hugo?
I think for now, Hugo just kind of stands looking over her shoulder, going and nodding every time she does a brushstroke.
All right. While Hugo does that, we shift the action to Lo, who confronts the owner of this totally legitimate business, who keeps casting worried sideways glances every time to Amber every few seconds, and she never sees Amber take a drink, but somehow the mug always gets a little emptier with the glass.
Just there's a passive aura of alcohol consumption. It's like even this woman's drinks at the bar are slowly emptying and she hasn't drunk them yet.
It's an area of effect alcohol consumption. Hey guys, I could drink an area of effect. Watch. What?
What? How? This makes no
Listen, we don't want no trouble. We're not gonna give you more guns. We heard what you did with the last batch.
I don't know what this is about. The last time I was here, I had but a friendly game of checkers. And I do not appreciate the hostility that I'm being greeted with.
A friendly game of checkers, she asks and points towards the checkers table. The checkers board is still where you left it last time, which is understandable because you kind of nailed it into the table with the checkers pieces.
Listen, yes, very friendly. It is how I mean, seems distracted, looking back to the guys with the muscles and desperately trying not to start a flexing contest.
You must flex to not flex.
Either way, I consider myself and my cohorts paying customers of this legitimate establishment.
Really now?
I bought the weapons.
Well,
Well,
you
we
do have a
bought the
point.
Yes.
So, what can I bring you?
We are looking, well, for two things really. We are looking for Green Hand aid kits, and we are looking for someone who is looking for the Green Hand aid kits.
Aid kit, like the singular of AIDS.
Alpha Aid. The original. The prime Aid.
The owner looks at Hulda.
That's what the character.
Her face is just a mask of utter bafflement.
That wasn't too good.
You didn't even have to roll and they're stunned.
Hey guys, I got my first aid today.
She looks back at Lo. Did you hit all those guys on the head? Do they follow you around because they think you're their daddy?
Again, not in character.
I mean,
But it's funnier if it was.
when we first came to Mountain Nation, we were knocked out of a flying helicopter, so it honestly, I didn't think about it like that, but it explains a lot of things that happened afterward.
To be fair, you've been dragging the whole party around. The likelihood that one of us has conked our head on something just because you dragged us around is very likely.
Anyway, possible head trauma notwithstanding, I don't know why you come here for Green Hand aid kits. I mean, I saw a few of those around town after your helicopter went down, but like, there's not even any good buzz in there. We don't really have a use for them.
Well, as far as I have been informed, Green Hand aid kits have been involved in some extremely legitimate business. So, I figured I'd visit the most legitimate business place I know of.
Well, you're
Wait, we're
welcome.
bringing the Green Hand down.
Come again? Sorry, I didn't hear.
No, to the ghost. Why are you bringing down the Green
No,
Hand?
I mean the Green Hand packs, those boxes. Didn't
okay.
they were like illicitly traded?
Apparently somebody was trying to. Or at least trying to acquire them. And Brumbo was trying to follow up on that.
Oh, so there was an interested buyer? Or...
Yeah, Brumbo was trying to locate them and somebody was trying to buy up everything that was being found. And that was the lead that Brumbo was following.
so that... Wait, I thought that was I just kind of assumed that was like an illegal thing?
Well, kind of, sort of, since they still belong to the Green Hand, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, you're welcome to check the back. I don't have any.
Yeah, we don't have any Green Hand packs. You could check the back though. Well, have you? I assume you keep your ears to the ground when it comes to legitimate business in this city.
Well, maybe I do, maybe I don't.
So anyway, has there been any business surrounding Green Hand aid packs? Because I've heard of there being a buyer.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but I kinda assumed it was bullshit. I mean, they're just lying around in the streets. Well, they used to lie around in the streets, but come to think of it, I haven't seen any for a few days, really. Huh. Weird.
Indeed.
And at that point, we quickly shift over to Hugo. The painting is finished, and Hugo, give me a d20, please. Another?
Yep.
Ah, there we are. you kind of recognize that face that only you can see in this art. You're not super sure about where you recognize it from, but you think it was from like an obscure volume on ancient Mountain Nation art.
Okay.
Like you've seen that face before. It has been depicted in ancient Mountain Nation art.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I turn to the woman, I pull on my hand and say, Hugo Dawson, artiste extraordinaire.
Sorry.
I'd appreciate if you stopped laughing, Lo.
I'm actually out of character laughing at something else that I saw.
No, the delivery was just perfect, my dude.
That also...
It destroyed me for a moment there. She turns around and shakes your hand, but she waves her hands about a bit, and after a moment you do realize that she is using sign language.
Oh shit.
Give me a roll if you understand sign language.
I'm glad you caught yourself with your. Do you know how to speak sign language?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You
Nope,
do it.
you don't.
You do it.
No, people can't speak sign language.
Honestly, I would honestly imagine Holder could speak sign
Yeah, I was
language.
about to ask, can I try to see if I can interpret?
Yeah, you get a witchy bonus.
Whoop! Oh yeah, I don't have any macros in this, so...
Yeah.
I mean, you can make macros yourself.
Yeah, I just haven't made any.
Macros are for losers. No numbers. Oh yeah, I fucking do.
Holy shit.
You were actually you actually taught sign language to many people in your village.
Hey, it's important to be inclusive to the lesser abled.
She basically she's saying that she has heard of Hugo and seen a few of his pictures in his SnapMe file and found them very interesting.
I think this woman is lying, Hugo. She says she's heard of you.
She frowns and very aggressively signs, "I'm not lying."
Wait, you've heard of this guy?
Of course I've heard of him.
Huh. Why?
Because he's a genius.
Don't tell him that. He'll get his head.
Holder presses X.
Almost spits up the alcohol that she's just passively consuming. Even though
Holder
she's
presses
drinking
X to
it.
doubt. Sorry.
Well, yeah, Hugo, she's heard of you.
Obviously. I was standing here for 5 minutes waiting for her to recognize me.
You just stood there.
Anyway, please relate to her that she's using a very interesting technique, one that I myself have used a number of times, but found it to be not quite suitable for my tastes and my goals. I'd like to know why she chose that technique, and who's that subject of hers? I don't see anyone around here like that.
While Hugo is talking, she signs to Hulda, "Tell him I'm mute, not deaf."
She's mute, not deaf.
Hey, honestly, I'm just imagining flat delivery of like she's totally deaf. You can say whatever you want.
She says that she loves your photographs and your composition, but she always felt that the photograph is kind of a limiting medium. She gestures towards her painting and says that you could never do something like that with a photograph.
How would I holdify that? She says that photos are limiting. Paintings, you can whatever. Paintings are more freeing.
She nods enthusiastically.
Well, yes, I agree. The thing is, I decided to switch to my photographs when I started traveling around the world to find new subjects, and the immediacy of the medium I feel is far more suitable right now. But yes, I dabble myself quite a bit in paintings back when I was studying or located in close to my home. Tell me, do you have a SnapMe profile?
She gets out her phone and bonks you her SnapMe.
Nice.
I'm just imagining that she just hits him over the head.
And suddenly,
Well, kind of bonking is when you take your phones and smack them together in a high five.
Yeah, and then it just transfers the data between them automatically. It's a pretty genius invention.
God, that sounds actually rad.
yeah, that's how technology works, doesn't it?
We're in the future? Question mark?
So, Hugo, was that the reason why you changed, or was it because you want to join the Apple Photograph?
Well, no, the Apple Photograph is the reason I came specifically to the Mountain Nation, but I was traveling abroad quite a bit before I got here. If any of you had bothered to ask, you would have known that.
She signs. Did you get confused by the name too?
Apparently she got confused as well.
Yes,
about
I
the name.
know, it's so confusing, right? It's really dumb. I don't understand why they would do that.
I mean, don't you, like, research an organization before you want to, join them?
I'm an artiste, not a researcher.
Yeah, so, art isn't about research. She signs.
By the way, is she
Oh,
is she from
God.
the Mountain Nation or also a foreigner?
She is a foreigner.
Oh, okay.
So apparently there exists two of Hugo.
Smash cut to look at the bar. What just happened?
Let's go back to the bar for a moment.
Yes, that's Smash cut to look at the bar, standing there like, I don't know why, but I feel disappointed and angry at reality. More than usual.
There's a disturbance. I can sense it.
I also get the impression artists are really dumb.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those those green hand packages in like a few days. That's weird. Like, I mean, people sometimes pick them up, but usually they brought them to like the nearest green hand station.
Anything else that might seem unrelated, but in a twist could actually be relevant to the situation at hand?
She rubs her chin and she's like, well, nothing really specific, but now that I think about it, somebody that, like, if there is somebody interested in those green hand packages, it's like not for like monetary reasons or like the drugs that are in there. I mean, they're good painkillers, but there are other people who can get me better drugs. And she glances at Amber. Excuse me for a moment. I'm getting a call.
Oh yeah, sure, answer the call. I hope it's not related to drugs.
Rex? Rex?
Los drogas.
Rex?
Lo introspectively stares into his presumably drink that he apparently has.
Sorry about that.
The drink is slowly emptying. Drinking it. You're not drinking it, but every time you blink, it's a little bit emptier.
Raises the cup to his mouth, but it's already gone. He's like, "Why does that keep happening?"
Every
since I
single
came.
time.
But yeah, if somebody is interested in those emergency packages, they must have like lots of wounded to heal. You know?
Lo thinks himself great because there aren't several factions with that. But this, well, that is something I hadn't considered before. Thank you very much. I do believe if that is it, I do not have any further legitimate business here. Unless they do, I don't know. What do you think I'd be interested in? I'm willing to buy something. It's been a while. I have to treat myself.
I think I'll treat myself.
I think
still searching for any alcohol left.
She narrows.
Empty. It's unopened.
She narrows her eyes and nods vaguely in the direction of Hugo and goes like, I don't know, maybe you're interested in a table and a checkers board?
Hint taken. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
And we return to the artiste.
Not the very buff people walking around.
Who are very, very subtly shadowing look.
She signs. So how long have you been in the Mountain Nation?
Wait, did she tell us her name?
She did not. But on her Snap Me it says her name is Selma.
Someone?
Selma.
Okay, I need you to write that down because I just can't hear it.
Selma.
Oh, Selma. Okay. Okay, anyway. So she asked us, well, it's been about a couple of weeks, I think, but it feels like a lot more than that.
How come?
Oh, I've been stuck with these three, how do I say this without,
Yeah, Hugo, how do you say that?
Low cracks his knuckles and puts a hand on Hugo's shoulder.
Well,
what,
everyone-
Hugo? What? Who have you been spending time with? Just crushes his shoulders.
Everyone slowly advances onto Hugo.
Signs strangers? Question mark.
Hugo
well,
doesn't understand
these
the sign
guys, and he
language.
gestures with his hands, and
There's menacing symbols coming off of
They look like an eclectic group.
quite. Did you?
I kind of assumed you guys were like on a college trip or something
Oh God, no.
together.
That's what. Never been to this college thing people keeps talking about.
She points to Hulda. I thought that was your teacher or something.
Oh God, no.
Wait, hold on, am I misinterpreting something? I thought she was still signing at people, or is she writing at Hugo?
She's signing.
Oh.
But then how does Hugo understand her?
I'm just assuming at this point that Hulda is is translating
Yeah.
to speed the process.
To make
Yeah.
it easier.
How long have you been here, though?
Oh, I've been here for like almost a year now.
Oh, interesting. And what brought you over?
Well, I just, heard a voice that told me to come.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Was it? Were you just walking around the street and heard that voice?
No, it was one night in my dreams.
Interesting.
I haven't heard it since, so I'm still waiting. Maybe I was just blazed out of my mind.
Everyone
Have you
advances
ever thought
on
of-
Hugo again.
Have you ever imagined that it was a dream?
Well, it could have been a dream. But
We've
now
had
I'm here.
We've had some interesting dreams.
And your subject, did you also see him in a dream?
Her, actually. And yeah, she was the one who told me to come here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't see gender.
Let me just put on.
How progressive
so
of you.
hard it cracks.
Let me just put on my gender vision goggles. Oh, that's a lady I'm talking to.
Right, yes,
Well,
I just don't see in those kind of binary terms, but to each his own. I don't judge.
Lo,
By the
Lo
way,
feels a
Lowell and
lot.
Amber, neither of you can see a face in those abstract shapes.
I was also
Amber
going to
couldn't
say.
see if, at this point, Amber's so drunk, even if there was a face, she wouldn't be able to see it.
Lo
Paula
feels
is confused
slightly
by-
less.
Paula
Sorry.
is confused by these statements.
Lo feels less like beating up Hugo now. Well, I'm personally not much one for the arts, but I guess the only thing I could potentially, show off is Lo uses Mud Shaper, and he throws a pose, and he tries to shape Mud into a bust, or just like a statue of himself, but like a small handheld. Like basically small
give me-
handheld Lo
I-
figurine posing on his hand.
Give me
I
a
don't
move.
have much, but I have this. Just flexes.
My body is art unto itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's okay, Lo, you are a work of art.
Ooh, are getting on too low.
It is humanoid. You can tell it's Lo. There's a buff boy statue on his hand, and he's posing like a buff boy, and he's doing the same pose he's doing, but on his hand.
She smiles a little sufferingly at you. It's cute.
Wow. Okay. Didn't want to be talked down to today, but I guess it's that one. Right. Okay. Cool.
How can one so tall be talked down to life's great mysteries?
If you'll excuse me,
understand
I,
it's competent sculpture, but like it's not a portrait.
well, excuse me. I guess if I'm not,
This woman
if I'm-
speaks to my soul.
If I can't be accepted as an artist, I guess I'll talk to my people.
I guess I'll go be with my people or whatever.
Selma asks, so are you guys planning on staying long?
Not me. I've been trying to get out of here for basically ever since we set foot.
We'll find out
Why?
when
The
we
Mountain
leave.
Nation has such a vibrant art community.
Where?
Literally where though?
I mean, not in the guilds. I mean, you can't expect trolls to have a vibrant art scene.
Well, to be honest, I'm kind of being held against my will here.
Did Lo just sense her making fun of the proletariat?
Wait, what do you mean?
Thankfully, Hulda doesn't really know how to translate trolls. Sorry, what was the last thing you said, Ainona? I didn't quite get that.
Oh, I just whispered to her that I'm kind of being held against my will, actually.
She, her eyes flicker to Hulda, who she is caught down by that point, is translating her sign language, and she signs. Well, we should keep in contact. You can always message me on SnapMe.
Oh, be sure I will.
Well, I think I'm gonna see if they'll let me back onto the campus today. So, I'll talk to you on SnapMe.
Alright, take me with you.
She packs up her things, but she takes like she has this big wooden kit of brushes and oil paints and shit like that, and she takes out a tube of black paint and a brush, and she hands them to you and says, a gift.
Thank you so much. And Hugo gives her a hug.
As you hug her, she whispers into your ear, keep them with you at all times. And then leaves.
Alright. right?
Oh, that's fucking ominous.
Hugo just failing and trying to keep his cool. Suddenly,
Do
he
we
starts
have a-
his eyes dart in all directions, and he starts sweating.
Do we have a problem here, gentlemen?
I was about to, like, I was gonna. Do I have some insightful conversation with these large gentlemen? Hold on, I have some insightful conversation with these large gentlemen.
So while these two were still talking to Selma, these large gentlemen, like you can't really see their eyes, but you know they were giving shifty glances to each other, like from the way they hold their body as you approach, and they were talking into earpieces like, "He's approaching. What do we do?" And then finally, they just stood there, trying not looking at you without looking at you. You know.
Well, it's a dramatic walk up to them. They're, like, you know that one fucking JoJo panel, you know, the meme one with
Yeah.
Jotaro walking up,
Oh, yeah.
just a dramatic strut towards them, stands there and goes, "Hey, what's going on in this neck of the woods? What's happening here?"
They look around. Sir, we don't see any forest.
That was very funny. You're a funny guy. What's your name?
My name is Paul, and this is Terry.
It's nice to meet you, Paul. Nice to meet you, Terry. So, anything interesting?
Well, we do enjoy a spot of gambling. They both turn synchronously towards the card table that one of them was sitting on. Sitting
Yes.
at.
Gambling. I have, can't say I have too much experience with that myself. But, what I do have experience at is, I ask a lot of questions. It's a habit.
They both hold their earpieces as apparently they get some information through their earpieces, and then Paul, who had been talking, switches to Terry, who talks to you. Sir, we have been informed that you are in the habit of asking those questions with your fists.
Well,
Is there any other way to ask questions? Cracks Knuckles.
it is, in my experience, one of the most efficient ways to get answers.
Hulda looks down on him.
Sir, we would prefer
see-
if you would use a less efficient method.
Understandable. But you see-
Our employer would frown on it if we had to break your limbs.
And who are you?
That's cute.
I'm Paul. I'm Terry. That's Paul.
I mean,
Terry, you're also a very funny guy.
who is your leader?
Well, our superior is called Jason.
Is Jason as funny as you, Terry and Paul?
I don't think he likes to be called funny.
Why did I ask him?
They both again hold their earpieces.
Is there something wrong
Our
with your
employer
ear?
informs us that he is not funny.
Why don't I talk to him myself? And I hold a hand out for an earpiece.
You are not cleared to have an earpiece, sir.
Where's your little permit to have an earpiece, sir?
Am I not then? Tragic.
Only employers of Jason Bouncing Services are allowed to have these earpieces.
So you're bouncers?
Wait, you jump?
Yes.
No, we bounce people.
We are,
jump
as
on
they say,
people?
the jump men.
What? You have one of those jumping sticks or what?
No,
They
we
probably
do not employ sticks, and that would be assault.
And jumping on people isn't?
We do not jump on people. We bounce them. We do not bounce ourselves.
Although that would be
So
funny.
throwing them is an assault? Using them as balls?
Technically, the ground did the assaulting.
We are
It
not
just-
in the habit of crushing the customers into spheres unless they are quite disagreeable.
Can't say I haven't been in this situation myself once or twice. The old crushing them into a sphere trick never fails you. So, any particular reason this fine, legitimate establishment seems to have hired bouncers?
Oh, we are not hired by this establishment. Our employer is Jason of Jason Bouncing Services.
But someone must have asked for Jason's bouncing services. Isn't that how it works?
Yes, but this establishment is not patronized by Jason's Bouncing Services.
I'm starting to feel quite patronized by Jason's bouncing services.
They get information via their earpiece again. You have no file in our customer database, sir.
Do I have a file in any of your other databases?
No, sir.
You seem quite interested in me.
Jason's Bouncing Services is not interested in you, sir. However, the current employer of Jason's Bouncing Services is interested in you.
But you are following, which means that you are interested.
You are interested by proxy because it is your job to be, as per your current employer. So, your current employer, let's talk about that some more.
Sorry, come again? My Discord was breaking up.
Your current employer. It's your current employer. Let's talk about that some more.
Do you mean Jason of Jason's Bouncing Services or the current employer of Jason's Bouncing Services?
The current employer of Jason's Bouncing Services.
They await your question.
No, I did say the current employer. I did say it. Sorry if I cut out. The current employer. of
After the clarification, they await your question about the employer mutely.
Who are they?
They are the legitimate combat sports entertainment emporium.
Sports.
Lo actually starts going from being suspicious to a lot friendly. Or you
Oh,
lose,
shit, sport.
you lose up a little bit. Legitimate combat sports, you say?
Yes, very legitimate combat sports.
And what pray tell? What legitimate combat sports? What interest does this legitimate combat sports emporium have for one such as I? And why would they hire a bouncing services company to follow up on those interests?
Well, sir, as you can imagine, legitimate combat sports can get an audience quite riled up.
Fair? Fair.
The
Sure.
employer of Jason's Bouncing Services has heard much about you and would humbly invite you to partake in the audience of his legitimate combat sports emporium.
See, I'll tell you about a little something called burying the lead. It's what you just did. You should have
They
started with
hold
that.
their earpieces again. Jason's Bouncing Services does not provide burial services of any kind, sir.
Well, I guess there have to be other jobs. Well then, I apologize if I've been rude. And he like does that thing where you politely dust off someone else's suit. It would appear your interest is exclusively in legitimate business.
Very legitimate, sir.
So, if you may give me the contacts of that legitimate combat sport employer of yours.
They again receive information via their earpieces. We are authorized to escort you to the legitimate combat sports emporium, sir.
I do currently find myself in a bit of a time crunch, to be personally honest. So, if you cannot give me the contact details, is this the place where I may reach you for future business?
They look at each other and seem to lead a wordless conversation between themselves. And then one of them pulls out his mobile phone. I can bonk you the map data.
Great. Logan pulls out his phone and they do the cool high five.
Give me a roll 20, please.
Oh, well, are they gonna be bragging on the high five? Are they gonna try to overpower me with the high five? Oh, those.
You get an estimate of their strength from the high five, or at least of Terry's strength from the high five, and he is at the very least your equal.
Oh my god. They do the bonk thing, there's just a crunching noise as the phone splinter in the middle.
I assume both you and Terry have extra protective phones.
Yeah. There's the high five lasts for a moment when there's like a little, both of them draw their hands and like, oh. Well then, it has been a pleasure doing extremely legitimate business with you.
They both nod in unison.
And tell Jason I said hi.
They receive information about over their earpieces. Our employer says hi back.
Thank you. And walks away.
As you walk away, Terry puts his hand on your shoulder and holds you back a moment. The legitimate combat sports emporium would very much welcome your presence in a timely manner, sir. And then he lets go of your shoulder.
We're kind of busy right now.
We are indeed. I'll see what I can do. And yeah, I don't really have anything else. But
Alright. Hugo, did you want to do anything else at the left behind painting?
Take a picture of it.
You're not gonna bring it with you?
You snap a picture of it, and you look at the picture, and it's kind of weird. You can't really make sense of the shapes on the photograph.
Interesting. Then I guess I will take the entire painting with me, as uncomfortable as that is.
Well, she did kind of leave it behind.
The paint is still wet.
Well, it is an oil painting. Those things take like weeks to dry sometimes.
Be very careful with it. As soon as he touches it, it just drops to the ground, like just painting first, just with a fine splat right on the rug.
Just like with toast, always the painted side first.
Actually, you know what? You said that the painting, that like the face that I can see, kind of reminds me of an ancient Mountain Nation person,
Art piece,
or
yeah.
what's that?
An ancient Mountain Nation art piece.
Okay. Can I try with the equipment that I just got from Selma to kind of make it a bit more realistic, so maybe Lo can recognize it as well?
Well, you're no longer really used to using brush and paint, but you can give it a try.
I mean, you could alternatively also not paint over this and just try to make a real, like, try to like draw the face. You know, you probably have paper and a pencil.
No, he doesn't.
Just draw it on the rug, and we can cut out the piece.
I don't suppose there's another, I don't know, canvas somewhere around here.
Not really, no.
Okay. I don't suppose Lo maybe recognizes the face even without me.
Nope, he just sees weird shapes.
Well then.
How many napkins are we gonna need to replicate the painting? Make a jigsaw puzzle of bar napkins.
It honestly is just like if you roll to alter the painting and fuck it up, then that's gonna be bad, probably.
It's probably cursed.
That's a good point. Like I didn't even consider the option of me fucking it up, but yeah, I guess you're right.
I'm just so great.
Accurate to Hugo. I didn't even consider that I could fuck up.
Sounds fake, but okay.
Maybe. Actually, I don't have. No, you said I don't have a pencil. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can ask from the bartender. So go over and ask the owner / bartender or whatever if I can borrow a pencil for a second.
Pencil, sure, I guess. She reaches behind her ear and hands you the pencil with which she writes the bar tabs.
Okay, so I go and I just kind of like trace around it. I don't. It's still like you can still use an eraser to get the tracings
Yeah, you
up. I
can
just kind of
still-
trace around to give it a bit more shape. And make
Yeah,
it a
man,
bit
you
more
could still
face-like.
totally use an eraser on this wet oil painting to.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
No, we said it wasn't oil anyway.
Are you sure you should fuck with her painting? Or change her painting?
It's just for a
That's,
moment. I got a feeling it's important.
This does
If
seem
you
quite
just change a painting for a moment, as paintings change here than what they normally are they kind of permanent?
Okay, listen. I don't you don't know it, but I'm kind of a god to that lady. Okay?
I am a god.
And what will she think when you ruin her painting?
Anonymous.
Well, God ruins things all the time. Trust me.
She will learn the truth that all gods are lies.
Like, yeah, Lo just
Just
goes.
consuming alcohol.
Amber and Lo, the nihilist club.
Yeah, Lo just looking at the God ruins things for me all the time.
It's not that Amber is the nihilist. She's party with God. He was not worth it.
At least that guy told you he was God.
Fair.
But yeah, if you want to try tracing the painting into a more recognizable face, please give me a roll.
I think I will. Well, I would have, taken a picture and done it over that, but it didn't really work out. So.
Yeah.
One.
Oh, okay. That's good.
You actually do fairly well. The others can now finally see that there is a face in there. Like you add some lines and connect some shapes, and they can finally see that there's a face.
Oh, well, it is like one of those magic 3D images. You cross your eyes at it, and boom, there it is.
Those never work for me. Probably because my eyes just don't work the way they used to. Either that or I'm hella drunk.
I'm just gonna assume I'll have to roll to know who that is.
Please do.
Incoming one. It's never that funny in real life.
It's never as funny as just rolling a 1.
You don't recognize it, but from from the general face shape, you do recognize that it depicts like an ancient mountain person. Like ancient mountain people have or at least the common depiction of ancient mountain people is very.
Huh. So she was
Like
drawing.
you know how ancient Egyptian art has a certain
Yeah.
style that's the same in ancient mountain art.
So she was drawing some ancient. Well, he would say he would be drawing some ancient mountain art the whole time.
Yes,
What a
but
twist.
Yes, but I'd really like to find out who is that specifically.
Hugo, I don't know all other mountain names.
Oh,
God, don't be racist again.
well, do you know someone who would know?
From the looks of it, probably a mountain nation historian,
Then take me to him.
art historian. Oh yeah, I'll get right on that.
Those are likely all in the university.
That was what Lo was thinking as well. You know what? I will get right on that after we save Brumbo. Well, if she needs to be saved,
What?
maybe
She's
in
not
danger.
here? I thought that's
Have
what we
you
came
seen
here for.
her?
Well, no, but
Well,
she's kind of short.
She is.
She is pretty short.
I've lost
Plot
track of
twist
her
is no
before.
one rolled perception. She's just been sitting in a chair this whole time. He's just so short you couldn't see her over the back of the chair.
I mean, you guys haven't checked in the back. Maybe she's there.
Yeah, hold on, I'll check in the back.
You check in the back, she's not there.
Dang it.
Also, no green hand packages.
We know.
Checks for a green hand package. There must be one. He cannot be lying.
It would appear we are smack dab out of options. Now that I think, I just put 2 and 2 together. How about that? You know who would really have a lot of use for untraceable means of healing? An underground fighting ring.
But where would you find such?
But where would I find one of those?
Angeles?
Muscle
There you
Town.
go.
Bar in Los Angeles?
I would perhaps find. Well, Muscletown is where all the overground fighting rings are. I assume this one is in the guilds.
Yeah, the map data you've got is for the guilds.
So, that was almost right, Hugo. Good effort. But this one's in the guilds.
Damn it.
Don't worry, we'll go to Muscletown. You can. I don't see why you want to paint any other buff boys beside me. Any other
Okay,
second rate buff boys.
statement needs a flex roll.
You're physically mandated to flex. You don't want to flex, but your body does it anyway.
I have a bonus on that.
It's a slightly above average flex.
But coming from low, moi. Well, yeah, this one's in the guilds. Let's go. Those model T poses and phases out of the house.
Phase out.
You slide backwards through the walls.
Yeah.
You do a speed running. You do a jump crouch roll through the wall.
Also, why
As
hasn't
you-
Sandy come in with us?
I was about to explain. As you leave the gambling area, you find Sandy among the shelves with food, and she has been buying food, and she has like this giant paper bag full of foodstuffs, and she smiles at you guys, and the smile's kind of like that Richter's cracked smile. I found so much interesting new foods.
Hold on, I'll move my. Okay.
Roll to inspect bag.
That's great.
How many of these are illegal? How many of these are human meat?
The legitimate front.
Well,
Yeah.
you do find like a couple of sweets that were banned everywhere but the Mountain Nation.
Ah, sweet.
Coca-Cola made with real cocaine.
Ah, sweet. It's Tinder eggs. Wait, I forgot that is an app.
Wait a minute. You've concentrated digital media as a candy. Wow, I didn't know it can manifest in the real world like that. Weird.
We've perhaps found a lead.
You have? She drops the entire bag and it spills everywhere.
Can I roll to catch it?
Please do.
I catch half of it.
You catch the bag, but the bottom rips.
Shit. I have an extra hand low. I believe.
Lois standing there with a ripped bag and never
You
expending
squeeze a
puddle.
little and save like half.
I'm just imagining Lois standing there with a ripped bag, standing in an ever-expanding puddle of food and, like, probably wine.
Yeah, lots of wine, lots of alcohol.
There's a tub of ice melting on the floor now. Tub of
Don't
ice
worry,
cream.
I'll clean this up. Amber just
I'm
lies
so
down
sorry.
face first in the puddle of alcohol and begins to drink.
I'm so sorry, honey.
Amber just fucking
Just sits on
SpongeBob.
and absorbs it like a sponge.
I'm so nervous. I'm not good at this kind of stuff.
It's no problem. I know this must be very nerve-wracking.
But you
Yeah.
found the lead?
Potentially. There is, well, I've heard tell of an underground fighting ring.
By the way,
Which-
Paul and Terry still stand where you've left them.
Yeah, I would assume so. So he just kind of moves in real quick. Like, I've heard tell of an underground fighting ring.
Oh, the fighting pit? Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, that would be what it's called. Which I assume might be the ones who were interested in buying all of those green hand kits for their fighting business.
Oh yeah, that kind of makes sense.
And as such,
But why would Abner buy all those green hand packages?
oh, you know the guy on the first name basis, don't you? Too, huh?
Oh yeah, I've competed in the fighting pit a few times.
That's rad.
You thought the spear was covered in paint? No, it's blood.
Well, actually, it is paint, but Abner doesn't allow weapons in the pit.
No,
Got a mean punch.
there's like the middle distance stare and it gets like anime glistening eyes. Sounds beautiful.
Their single tear rolls down his face.
Yeah. So, it seems worth investigating.
Well, I guess so. I just can't imagine Abner would do something like that.
Well, that's not. He's not especially a subject yet. It's just that, you know, he
Suspect.
was on her way to the presumably illegal fighting pit. And then something presumably illegal happened.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're going?
Presumably.
Then let's go. Why were we standing around here for? And she,
we're waiting for Amber to totally absorb all the food you dropped.
she smacks the rest of the groceries you saved out of your arms and marches off. Leave that stuff here. We can't lock that around.
I guess.
Assumed form of cross.
Unite, morph! Rangers together.
Alright, I'm not gonna go over the map because I actually forgot to look up the actual location of the fighting pit. We'll just say you get there pretty directly because Sandy knows where it is.
Yeah. Sandy, I kind of want to fight you in the fight pit. So rad.
Damn it, why didn't they copy? Curse you, roll 20! Curse you! Okay, there we are. So Sandy leads you through the streets, and you finally enter like a block that's more towards the center. And it's actually you go a fair ways into the block. Like, if you recall, the blocks are all these like misshapen buildings built on top of adjacent and underneath each other. It's like it looks like many buildings were smashed together. But you penetrate very deep into this block, and you actually find a brick building that looks real old. And likely was the original building this block was all built around.
This building looks very old, says Lo, looking at his hand.
And you enter the fighting pit.
Ooh.
The atmosphere in the room is very, very loud. Very, it smells a lot like alcohol, like...
Alcohol detected.
Smells illegal.
Smells like alcohol and sweat and charred meat. And people are talking loudly and laughing, and you can hear raucous jokes and dirty jokes being made.
Oh, this brings me back. This is how I earned my college tuition in Anime America.
In Animerica, yes.
In Animerica, yes.
Yeah, but the fighting pits in Animerica are getting too regulated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not the ones out there.
You have to cross the border into just normal Canada to get the real fighting pits. Although you have to be careful, you may end up fighting like an actual wild animal, and it's dicey then.
But that's how you make the most money. The student loan system in Animerica is beyond both.
Yeah, it's beyond saving. You can be trillions in debt within a couple weeks.
Lo looks at the camera.
What can I do for you?
And all of it. All of it.
All
Everything.
of what?
Let me get it myself. She crawls up onto the bar and just grabs anything she can get her hands on.
She grabs like a shovel from below the bar and smacks you with it like with a fly swatter.
Sorry, I was imagining the sentence was going to. She grabs a broom. She grabs a fucking shovel. I guess that's what.
Down.
You can't stop me.
If you're the barmaid for like a drunken fight pit crowd, yeah.
She expertly sweeps your legs out from under you and you smack into the bar and bounce off.
I'll get my alcohol. I'll
But
take it
not
all.
from me, darling.
It'll all be mine.
Get. And she threateningly waves the shovel at you.
Amber
You
begins
also-
to scheme.
You also notice the buff boys over here.
Oh yeah.
So,
They both wear nameplates. One is called Liam, the other one is called Neeson.
Just making sure this is the cops, right?
This is one of the cops, yeah, but he seems to be off duty. You see more off-duty cops over here.
Yep, I know. Just had to double check with the icons. So, does Akane know about this?
No, and I prefer if it stayed that way.
You can
Why
feel the glare.
is a man of the law here?
Because it's a legitimate sports entertainment bar.
He said it legitimately.
You can
Then
feel
why-
his glare through his mask.
Then why would Roderick Akane not know?
Because she beat every fighter that Abner ever had.
You see, hold on, nothing to worry about. Very legitimate, very sports, very entertainment.
A very sport.
Sandy comes over to you and she's looking around kind of nervous, and then she whispers to you, "This place has changed."
Oh?
Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on, like, nothing about the interior or the furniture, but like, it feels meaner.
Hmm.
And I can't see Abner anywhere. He usually tends bar.
I don't know what you mean. This place doesn't sound mean. That's what it says about the background.
Like, what music are you talking about?
Wait, you can't hear it in your head constantly wherever you go?
Listen, I have 4 background tracks, okay?
That's all I have, please.
What do you want for my life?
This is indeed a predicament.
Oh, by
I
the way,
know.
no, if you ever want to have a snappy conversation with Selma, you just gotta ask.
Got it.
I shall interact with the interactable non-player character.
I shall interact with the non-player now.
Though, kind of shoos Amber away from whatever she was doing like a raccoon.
She's
He doesn't even-
trying to pry a panel away from the back of the bar so she can reach in and grab alcohol through the other side.
Ferret would be proud.
And they'll just kind of swipes her off without even considering it.
The barmaid looks at you, still shovel still in one hand. You're not gonna climb on the bar, are you?
No. Why would I do that?
Yeah, why indeed?
Squids that lower just kind of raises his head on.
I don't see anything. Amber still prying away at the wood of the bar.
And we're like, need alcohol.
Without looking, the barmaid one hands the shovel over the bar and bonks Amber on the head.
Lo takes the opportunity to also just, like, as Amber is bonding, she just pushes her and she rolls away like a tumbleweed.
She more or less just falls flat on the ground.
She plays dead like an opossum and remembers that she's actually dead. It's like, huh. And then spends some minutes thinking about that.
Yes.
What can I get you?
I was thinking about talking to Abner. Is
Give
he
me
around?
a roll 20, please.
I'll give you roll 20, but that's not my range. Here's a 15. Oh, it's fine.
Use
You-
15 of whatever unit currency you were using here.
You can you can see she gets a little nervous at the mention of Abner's name. Abner's not here today.
Oh. Then who's in charge? Is it you?
No, it's Abner left Jason in charge while he was away.
Jason from Jason's Counseling Services?
Yeah, that guy.
I hear he's very funny.
She looks at you confused.
Humor
Just-
should be a language in their vocabulary.
Just an absolute riot.
Her confusion deepens. We talking about the same guy?
Yeah.
I haven't ever seen him even crack a smirk.
Oh, trust me. That guy, once he's off the job, hilarious.
You should see him at the family barbecues. Ooh,
Oh,
boy.
yeah. Just non-stop. No wet eye in sight. I mean, no dry eye in
You
sight.
don't look related to Jason.
Are you being racist?
Says
Whoa. Well, no, but she idly gestures at Liam and Neeson, who look suspiciously like Paul and Terry.
Oh. Oh, it's Jason's Bouncing Services, a family business.
Yeah, 15th generation.
He wouldn't happen. Jason wouldn't happen to have a partner called Statham, would he?
It's a really
That's actually his brother.
I figured.
really powerful bloodline. Those genes just wow, all look the same.
And you said it wouldn't be part of the family barbecue. Jason is part of the Statham comedians, the whole lot of them.
They apparently can trace their bloodline back to the ancient James Moon line.
The what line?
The James Moon line.
Oh, James Moon line. Never heard of that one. Reference not secured, I'm sorry.
You'll
So,
get it eventually.
How
It'll sink in.
how can I talk to Jason, my old pal?
Well, Jason usually hangs out in the basement, but nobody who isn't part of the family is allowed down there.
Then how does anyone talk to Jason?
They usually talk to one of his sons.
But I just got done doing that.
Well, you could. Sometimes Jason comes out to watch the fight, so you could just wait here and watch the next fight. One is about to start in about 5 minutes.
Sounds fun.
Amber,
Yeah.
do you have anything to give to the strong gentleman?
Search his pocket. I think I still have. Let's see. It's just like digging out a bunch of stuff. A couple bottles fall out in various amounts of being full and or empty.
While Amber searches her inventory, Sandy takes a seat next to Hugo and leans over to him. Can you feel like the mean atmosphere in here?
Well, this is where people get beaten up, isn't it?
Oh, why are you eating your microphone right now?
That might have moved along.
Sorry. You would just.
Please repeat your words. I could not understand you through the peaking.
Sorry, better now?
Better.
Yeah.
I was saying, well, this is where people get beaten up, isn't it?
Well, not really. Like, people fight here. You get beaten up in a dark alley by 5 dudes with a knife, but
5 dudes with a knife.
Yeah, with a single knife.
They're all sharing.
The plot twist is it's a normal sized knife, but they're all like borrowers, so they're all really tiny people wielding one gigantic ass knife. Gosh, shit, it's a huge ass knife.
no, this is like boxing or MMA, you know? It's a contest of strength and skill, and it's an art. At least that was the case when I was last here. Now it kind of feels like, I don't know, bloodlusty.
Well, yes, I do get the sense of bloodlust. Hey, it photographs well.
Give me a roll to take photos of some of the audience on the benches around the ring.
I was actually waiting for the fighters themselves, but that would also work.
Why would I take pictures of these losers?
Yeah, photographic evidence of their legal sporting
Event.
You take really good photos of the people, and yeah, they look like real angry and ravenous, like
Raving blood.
you're kind of surprised they're not frothing at the mouth. Also, hello to Private Peachy Butt in the SSH chat.
Howdy. Let's see.
So, how far is it down to the pit?
It's about a 2-meter drop into the pit.
Okay.
Like, you could break something, but if you know what you're doing, it's not likely. And there's sand at the bottom.
Yeah.
Sandy kind of gives herself a one-armed hug. I don't like this place anymore.
Anyway.
Why would you ever like this?
Well,
Isn't it just a bunch of people getting hurt?
Well, you do get hurt, but I mean, she gestures towards her arm stump. Not every pain is bad. I mean, she gestures towards Lo. You gotta hurt sometimes to get better, right?
Indeed.
Dave!
Flexus.
That is just a lie doctors tell you.
But haven't you ever met an actual doctor?
What am I?
Well,
Got him.
you don't have a PhD, do you?
Why would a piece of paper help me?
She helplessly looks at Amber, Lo, and Hugo, trying to get some support because she doesn't know how to explain.
The piece of paper doesn't actually help you in the process. You are given the piece of paper once you've proven to another experienced doctor or a set of experienced doctors that you are also an experienced doctor or a good doctor.
I
And
mean,
so,
I
anyone-
am a witch. You don't become that unless the other witches, accept you in.
See, you have the witch
So the
hat.
only difference is that I don't have a piece of paper.
But you see, you have the witch hat, right? Which is a symbol of respect in certain groups. The witch hat doesn't actually make you better at anything. It just shows that you're a witch. Much like a PhD doesn't actually make you, like, the piece of paper that a PhD contains doesn't actually make you better at anything. It just shows other people that you're good at something.
But the hat means that you're medicine. What do you think witches do?
I don't know, I'm not a witch. I'm just saying, you have witch hats, other people have PhDs.
Plot twist, all of Hulda's witch power is contained within her hat.
I mean, the hat makes a person. That is a well-known fact.
But I don't have a hat.
Exactly, you're not a person.
Lo grabs, Hulda grabs Lo and just pulls him away. And it turns out to just be just a rug. Just like pulls away the Lo fabric, and it turns out pulls Lo out of reality like a tablecloth.
As you guys talk, you notice a change in the mood of the room.
Oh.
And people start stomping their feet and knocking mugs on on the tables and generally cheering as the latches on the trapdoors in the pits open.
I said let's start a fight. Oh, this is gonna be rad. Lotus just kind of plops down in the middle and bends down the
Do you
bench.
mind?
Oh, sorry.
Sandy scoots over a little bit to make room. The latches open and you can kind of see down into the trapdoors, but they're mostly shadowed from the rim of the pit. Like the pit doesn't go straight down; it goes like a little outward. You know, like an Erlenmeyer flask.
Hmm? I get that. Reference secured.
And two fighters climb out of the trapdoors. One male, one female, and the crowd goes wild.
Not just sketches.
What do you mean, not just sketches?
Let's see. At least from the zoom level I'm at, it just looks like there's sketches.
Yeah, honestly, the line width is a little thin, so if you're zoomed out too far, they just kind of blur out.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Then zoom in.
Yeah, it's what I've been doing.
I'll have to ask Radial to reinforce the lines a little bit.
Reinforce the lines.
Can't hold it much longer, but yeah, more icons. Woo.
But yeah, they circle one another a little bit, and the crowd grows ever more loud and wild, and they almost seem reluctant to start the bout.
Amber, just come on, kick her in the balls already. God.
I respect your hairstyle choices. You have good taste.
Sandy leans over to look. Do they look kind of like stressed to you?
They're a bit sheepish.
And as you, Lo, give me a. Oh no, Hugo, you're actually closest. Give me a roll 20. Another?
There you go.
You did 5.
Ah, I always look away just when you roll. Not closest to them. That's not what I was measuring.
Yeah, it was about to ask, isn't the point of a circle that everyone is?
Hugo's just too concerned with taking pictures, I guess. And capturing the pained facial expressions on the fighters.
Oh yeah, you're taking pictures. Give me a roll on that.
I get a bonus though.
You do get a bonus. And it would have been a success anyway. And you first you think the picture is out of focus, but then you realize that you took the picture right as they were like moving, and they start beating up on each other like really brutally. Like there's no art to it. They're just going at it. And you at first think that it was like the motion of them going towards each other, but that's not the right kind of blur for it. Like there was something else that happened before they started fighting.
That's
Also, welcome Script to the stream.
That's not usually what this is supposed to look. What is? Lo looks over to Sandy.
Sandy looks fucking horrified at what's going on in the pit.
This is
That's not normal.
Can I try to take a picture of whatever that was again? Like, is it possible to...
No, whatever happened passed.
Okay.
But yeah, they go at it for like a solid 5 minutes, and by the time they're done, let's actually see who wins.
Tell me when they're about done.
Lo, heads or tails?
Heads.
The woman loses, and she finally collapses onto the floor. Many bruises on her all body. Oh, I forgot to mention they are both dressed in like boxing shorts and tank tops.
Yeah.
But the man, like she has at least 2 teeth knocked out and is bleeding from a cut in the eyebrow. But the man also has his nose broken and looks so winded that he almost can't lift his arms in a victory pose. But the crowd goes absolutely ballistic and start throwing food into the pit.
Amber just sort of sulks away from the edge. God, someone didn't even die.
Yeah, I thought this would be a death match.
Yeah.
And Sandy looks at you in abject horror.
Hulda doesn't say that in character, which is I thought this would be a death match.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
Amber still thinks that someone should have died for this.
But yeah, the latches pop open again, and only now do you realize, like, you couldn't really hear the noise, the sound of the latches before, but the crowd is kind of quieting down now that the fight is over. But you only now realize that the latch is locked after the fighters got out of them, and one of the bouncer climbs out of the latch where the woman came out, and the guy goes back into his trap door, and the guy whose nameplate says Cruz drags the woman back into.
Real quick, does it sound like this one was locked after it went down again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other trapdoor locks as well, as the woman is dragged down below.
Well, that was really fucked up.
Sandy is really pale and looks like close to puking.
Amber, let's give these gentlemen just looks at the bouncers. Something to calm down.
I have no idea what got into Abner. It didn't used to be like this.
The barmaid said that Abner is not currently present and has left someone else in charge.
Oh boy.
Lo stays here with Sadie so that Hulda and Amber can have a scene in this session.
It's still Sandy.
Fuck!
It isn't our fault you push a bad name.
So, Hulda and Amber.
Alright. What do you want me to give them, Hulda? I don't really have anything I want to give. You don't even need to sneak by them. You can just fall down the rest of the stairs. There are only railings on the one way. You just jump down.
Actually, no. Like these sides are walls that go to the ceiling.
Oh, I thought that was just like just jump down the sides.
No.
I need you to help us get through.
Okay.
You're the only one that has anything. I don't know what you have.
Well, I mean, I have this weird, like, fruit that I think is starting to rot. I honestly can't tell. I'm still incubating that weird crystal egg we found a while ago. I've almost run out of, like, bills.
Don't you have any drugs or anything?
Oh, I mean, I do have my mystery bag. This could either end poorly or well. Let's go find out.
Liam and Neeson watch you very carefully as you approach.
Alright, let's see if I still remember how to do this
Excuse
properly.
me, madams, but the basement is off limits.
Oh, I'm not here for the basement. I'm here to give you drugs. Shit.
The company regulations of Jason's bouncing services do not allow the intoxication during working hours.
Well, it's not
Just throw it in their
intoxication.
face.
If anything, this will enhance your existing ability to defend the gate. Is that illegal? I mean, don't answer that question, actually.
Give me a second. Ah, fuck.
Why did you throw the keyboard to the other side of the room?
No, that's not what happened.
Dude, what's going on?
What did you do?
He bumped his toe. I'm betting.
No, I'm not gonna bother to explain because it would be fucking stupid.
No,
But I'm
explain.
alright. I'm alright.
Alright, that's all that matters, I guess. Do it off stream, maybe.
But yeah, as you mentioned, enhancing their abilities, they both flex, and it's a very impressive flex. And you can like hear the seams of their suits groan under the strain. Ma'am, it is not possible to enhance our abilities.
Try me.
Please step back, ma'am.
Emperor,
Make
give
me
me a
then.
bag and we'll throw it at them at the same time.
No, I want them to get closer.
They both converge upon you. You have
Just gotta wait for one of them
you
to
have
attack
one
me.
action before they fucking bounce your ass.
She's going to essentially take her mystery bag of drugs, hoping that they are close enough together where if I essentially just spike my mystery bag of magic drugs in this corner, that it'll affect both of them with one strike.
Sorry, I was away from the window. Which corner?
I'm essentially going to throw it at this pinpoint right here between
okay.
the two of them and myself. In both a cool ninja smoke bomb move and here's a bunch of drugs, nerds. And just hopefully they absorb some of the horrendous chemical concoction.
Where's the stupid wild magic list? There it is.
So I'm just gonna roll to do that. Let's throw the bag down. Well, you know what? I tried.
Do you have to roll the thingy for wild magic?
I don't know. I thought I had to roll to throw.
Nah.
I could just roll wild magic.
Well, the bad roll means that you do hit both Liam and Neeson, but you also hit yourself and Hulda.
Guess I'll.
Come on,
I guess I'm rolling 4D.
an entire square away.
She rolled really bad.
Yeah. If she'd rolled a 1, she'd have hit only you two.
Where is the list?
I have the list.
There are a lot of drugs in this bag.
Do we all get the same effect or do we all get different effects?
Everybody gets their own effect. I'm gonna
Yes.
roll for Liam and for Neeson.
Alright.
This is Liam, and this is Neeson. Okay, Liam got 63.
Let me.
Oh, this is already starting out great.
I used the wrong list. Let me D3.
Oh god.
63, a friendly robot appears and insists on serving everyone tea. And
Robots.
Neeson got 208.
I got a question about the robot. Does everybody see him,
I
or
was
is it
about to
only
say-
Liam?
Oh no, it's real.
Since it is,
It is real.
since it is brought about, yeah. I was wondering, since it is brought about by drugs, is it a hallucination? But
Neeson gets 208. Target can temporarily roll around at the speed of sound.
and you said you couldn't enhance your ability.
Amber never lies.
You,
I got a
Oh,
300.
you cheater.
you didn't
Oh,
roll
wait,
the dice.
Target gets new ability.
No, you didn't actually roll the dice.
I forgot.
It's
I
not-
actually rolled good.
If you roll, I was about to say if you roll a natural 300 now, that would be fucking.
If I actually rolled a 300, I would lose my shit.
Okay, let me get 291 for Hulda.
The 291 is drops. Monk.
It is out of
Oh,
batteries
sorry.
and must be plugged in.
Amber
Amber
just
just
gonna
winds
shut.
down, passes out. Amber just winds down.
Oh, this is actually perfect for Hulda.
Oh no.
Target can heal others by hugging them and complimenting them. Last 5 turns.
Oh yeah, Holder is such a huggy and complimenty kind of person.
Alright, the Mr. Amber tries to spike the mystery bag into the ground between Liam and Neeson, but it kind of slips from her hand.
She's just like spiking it into the ground right at her feet.
Yeah. And like the people on the bench just hear this weird tinkly noise as whatever is in the bag puffs into a giant white cloud, and everyone in this in this radius here takes a deep breath of this mystery rainbow powder.
It's both a powder, a liquid, and a gas at the same time.
Oh god, here we go, Amber with her Newtonian drug liquids again. They're gases too, what the fuck is this?
Amber, you feel very, very low energy until you can plug yourself into an outlet. You can only have an action or a move during a combat turn, whenever the next combat.
So, by plugging into an outlet, do you just straight up just stick a fork in there or what?
Yes.
I will let you creatively decide how to do that.
Although a fork and an outlet would be the most efficient method.
Hulda, you feel suffused by the energy of friendship and love.
Yeah.
Hulda has a magical girl transformation. She looks exactly the same.
Nothing happens. Hulda, you've always had this power.
I've always been a magical girl. Like, actually, for realsies.
Neeson bends over, grabs his ankles, and just
Speeds.
rolls at incredible speed out of the door and down the little alleyway between the blocks buildings.
And is there
There-
seen or
There's
heard
an
from again?
actual.
Yeah,
There's like a
we
real
just
ass.
have Crush 40 just blasting in the background. Some wicked Crush 40.
Like, okay, Crush 40 starts, but it follows him. So, like, we all just hear.
Wow.
And Liam screams as his back splits open and his skeleton peels itself out of his body. And unexpectedly, the skeleton holds a tray in his hand and says, "Does anybody want some tea?"
Yes, please.
And on that, we shall end this session.
Hugo, I get the impression that half the party did something stupid.
What do you mean? This was all according to plan.
All right.
Whoa, let's go.
This will be all for today.
Short session.
Well,
Is this normal length?
Relatively.
Yeah, it was pretty. Hour 50 minutes is we usually do about 2 hours. So that's fine.
Yeah.
We've been shorter.
I hope
Yeah,
you
we
all
weren't-
had fun. We actually had a little bit of an audience today.
Hooray! We are internet famous now.
Normally, not even we watch this. Why would you watch this garbage?
Yeah, everybody go to the Net Zero store online, buy our shirts.
Buy our merch. Our
Yeah,
limited
our-
edition plushies.
Our store
Put some
page.
money, just like take like $50 and like flush it down the toilet. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah, I sell fucking handmade paintings on Etsy.
Everybody say goodbye to Chad.
Goodbye to Chad.
Bye, Chad.
Why?
Oh yeah, another successful day of